we were going around. We have a sharing circle after each meditation. So I had a meditation where I, or it was a little blip in this one meditation where I saw something that looked like a bar, like a tavern, but it was
Gotcha. Okay.
very abstract. But I knew it was a bar. There was there was some design in the background, but it was very simple, black and white blocks. But I knew that there was some kind of abstract design, and I knew there was a bar, and I knew that there were stools. But it was super quick, in, out. And then I went to then I was in like a flower meadow, and it was beautiful and sunny, and there were lots of flowers. And then I pictured this toy that I had when I was little. Out of nowhere, I didn't even have the toy. My cousin did. So these random things just come in, like why?
Gotcha.
So it was this random toy I thought of. So then we go back to our sharing circle, and I wasn't going to bring these little things up because, again, they were small. Like, I'll hold that to myself, but I did journal about them. So this one gentleman starts talking about and he's going on, and then he said I was in a tavern, and I was like, and I'd even drawn it in my journal, like the little abstract like stuff that I saw. And he said I don't even remember what he said after he said tavern, but he's like, I was in a tavern, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so I let him finish, and I said, hey, I was in a tavern too. And he points to me and goes, you were there.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Lights podcast. I just have a quick announcement for anyone who's listening before March 21st. March 21st at 6 p.m. in Nunn, Colorado, we are having a Skywatch event that is free and open to the public. So if you'd like to come, please send me an email at lightsoverloveland@gmail.com, and I will send you that address and the details. But once again, it is free. And I invite anyone who wants to come out, bring your camera equipment, and let's document and record this amazing phenomenon and share it with the world. One quick note about the Skywatch, Ryan Dabian will be there doing a live psychic demonstration for everyone there. So if that's something you're interested in, you definitely don't want to miss this event. And if you don't know who Ryan Dabian is, check out my podcast episode with him, where we dove into his psychic abilities. He is also the winner of the 2025 Psy Games, which, if you haven't heard of that, it was the first ever psychic competition to demonstrate these abilities live in front of scientists and military and the general public. So if that's something you would like to see, you don't want to miss this event. Next, a couple ways you can help support me and this podcast are: first, please just drop a like or rate this podcast wherever you're listening. This podcast is available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. So there's a variety of places to watch and listen. Please just rate it wherever you're checking this out. And also, quick side note, every episode is a video podcast, so make sure you're tuning into the video, because on some of my previous episodes, I've included actual footage of the phenomenon and everything like that. So definitely check out the video episode. Another way you can join my community, though, is to check out my Discord. So I have a free Discord server that is open to anyone who would like to join, where we can have conversations about the phenomenon, consciousness, meditation, out-of-body experiences, or even our hobbies and arts and stuff like that. So it's just a fun place where we can have a conversation, and it's a place where we will be able to share event footage and our stories about what we witness in person as well. Another way you can help support is to check out my Patreon, where I have a free tier with some stuff on there, but I also have a $5 tier, which is $5 a month, and you help support me on my journey and help me be able to bring better videos to everyone. You will gain access to the episodes early. So if that's something you're interested in, I would greatly appreciate it. And one final way you can help support is to check out my merch store, which is probably the best way you can help support. And you can get your hands on some amazing merch, such as my Merkba Traveler hat or my Illuminating Forest shirt design, or the variety of other designs I have as well. I have hoodies, t-shirts, coffee mugs, and yeah, I got a variety of things you can check out. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, everyone. This is Justin, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Lights podcast. If you've ever felt that strange disconnect between your everyday routine and a growing spiritual awareness, today's episode is for you. I'm joined by Heather. She's a hairdresser, a salon owner, a mom, and the host of the Soul Explorers podcast. Heather is on a mission to build a community of like-minded humans seeking connection without fear or judgment. We're going to get into her personal journey of enlightenment, how she balances the woo with the real world, and why it's time to stop questioning ourselves. We will also step into the realm of UAPs along the way. Can't wait to dive into how her journey evolved. Heather, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Justin. It's so good to finally talk to you face to face.
Yeah, I'm excited. We've been messaging for quite a while, so I'm really excited to dive into your journey and get to have a conversation with you. So, you mentioned on your YouTube a dissonance between awareness and everyday life. Can you pinpoint the moment or period in your life when that awareness first sparked?
Well, um, that's a really good question. Well, I guess I can say that with the dissonance, there definitely was that when I was a child. I
Gotcha. Okay.
always felt different and just like I didn't belong here. It took me a while to figure out how to be normally social with kids when I was younger because there was this disconnect.
Gotcha.
And this is still a lot of things that I'm unpacking today. They're just actually unpacking themselves naturally. The things that I've always remembered, but as I'm in this process, like waking up right now, things are kind of opening up a little bit more. But I would say that was the first step. Then you mature, or then I matured, and then you kind of like, figure out on the social side how to, um, okay, well, I have to more relate to this person or that person. I'm very empathic. So I will, if I'm with somebody, I kind of pull their energy in. And this is something that I'm just now like really realizing and why it's been difficult for me throughout the years with social situations. But again, not difficult to the point where I didn't put myself out there. I always have, but I just always knew there was a difference, right? And
Gotcha.
then as of the last couple years and realizing all this and unpacking it, I'm really proud of myself for handling all this as well as I have throughout the years. Now knowing how much I am different than everybody. I shouldn't say that because we're all. I'm not, but I am, or at least I feel like I am in some situations, if that makes
Gotcha. Yeah.
sense. Yeah, and
Yeah.
now like meeting all these other people who are very similar, it's like, oh, I'm not alone, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I actually am very similar. As you were saying too, like growing up, I was always kind of like awkward in social situations, didn't really know how to like
Very.
handle it and everything. And then now just recently realizing that I'm also an empath. And it makes so much more sense when I look back and I was feeling so many different emotions that I'm not even sure I was just feeling my own emotions or just the energy of everyone around me.
Gives me
But
chills because that's exactly what um, I just my friend Lindsay, who's an astrologer, I just did a recording with her, and she did my astrology chart, and that was something else that she pulled out, which I've always known, but the validation of her seeing that in my chart, and I'm realizing, "Oh my god, like, how many times am I really me?" Right?
right. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I mean, I am, but I'm always pulling other people's energy in, so I love that you said that too. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not
Was
alone.
there yeah. Was there like a catalyst for your awakening?
No, it
No?
actually just no, like, well, when I think back, everything kind of slowly started in 2017 out of nowhere. It
Gotcha.
was
Okay.
kinda like I woke up one day, thought, "Oh, I'm gonna try out this meditation thing." And that quickly I quickly went deep. I quickly started to get knowings, but I wasn't sure what was really happening. But I always knew I was connected to something, so it was almost like a knock knock, like, "We've been with you this whole time. You've been hearing us this whole time. Now realize it." Now, but it still took a while. Um, and it just has slowly since then just grown. And then, of course, discovering Chris Bledsoe, who we have a
Yes.
mutual,
Mhm.
that really opened a lot of things for me spiritually. When I read his book and when I learned about him, read his book, I just resonated so much with everything he said because I always had this separation. I've had a lot of negative religious things that have happened.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So sometimes even the word God is very uncomfortable for me. Still to this day, I'm getting better.
Me too.
But,
Yeah.
but when I read his book, it was like it was almost like, "This is what I thought this entire time, but this person's
Mm.
actually putting it into words." So then also meeting, getting into the Bledsoe Said So Discord and meeting everyone. Again, going back to that, ever since joining the Discord and talking to other people has really exploded. So to answer your question, it's definitely been a slow roll, but it has ignited within the last 6 months, and it
Gotcha.
definitely it's, like, started igniting, really, or opening up more, 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for me, that's kind of similar too. Like
Yeah.
you kind of start with like that inner like processing of what's going on and everything. And then as you find a community, like we both joined the Bledsoe Said So Discord, when you have a group of people who are also going through that same thing, it's just like that explosion. Like we're all discovering these new things and we're all sharing what we're finding and everything like that. And I know you've gotten to go to the Bledsoe events. Can you
Oh, that's right.
explain a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit?
you never really have. You
Yeah,
have
I have.
to. You have to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to side games this year, so I'm hoping like
Yes.
I'll get to meet Chris finally there and everything. But
Yes.
yeah, I'm
Oh,
really
I'm
excited
so
to meet
happy.
everyone. Yeah.
I'm so happy for you because it is, um so what was your original question? Like how,
Oh,
like meeting him, basically?
yeah. So, what was like going to their events like? What did you experience when you did that?
Okay. So the first one I went to was the first Azalea Fest.
Okay.
That, April of '24. And, my dad was just diagnosed with cancer, and I had just discovered Chris, like, November or December of that year. November of that year. No, November of '23, and I remember thinking to myself, "I need to meet him. I need to be in his presence." And I don't know why, you just get this feeling sometimes. So, anyway, I heard they were gonna do the Azalea Fest, and my family and I have vacationed down in that area for 15 years, and I love Wilmington, and when I heard he was gonna be in Wilmington, I'm like, "No brainer." And then my dad, about a month before that, was diagnosed with cancer. I'm like, "I gotta go. I just have to go." So, the first time I met him, it is so hard to put into words. It's electric. He's electrifying. There's something gravitational about him. He Every single person he talks to, he's with that person. He shares his soul. He's the most Listen on my words, all my big words. He's the most just, I don't know, clearest, honest man, human I've ever met. He is this figure, and the electric always comes into my head because he's very electrifying, and you just wanna be around him. He's full of love. He is love. He's absolutely love. So that first time I met him, and he literally just like he did to the people before me, because we were standing in a line, he just took that time with me and shared his story, and it was just an incredible moment. And then I continued to go to the other festivals, and now we're buds. But he's buds
That's
with
awesome.
everybody. He's buds
Yeah.
with everybody. He remembers your name. His memory is incredible. He is like this person that is like, he's probably an alien. No, I'm just kidding.
We might all
No,
be aliens. Who
we
knows
we
at this point?
probably are.
Yeah.
But he's such a loving human. It's the love that exudes from him that I think is the electrifying part of him. Yeah. I'm very excited for you to meet him, because
Yeah, I'm really excited.
it's like, you just don't know until you're there and in his
Mm.
presence. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard from pretty much everyone who's met him the same thing. Just like he takes the time to be fully present with you, hear your story, and connect with you. And I think that's something just that's really rare nowadays. Like a lot of people just want the attention, but don't want to take the time to build that like connection with people and be
Yeah.
personable and like get to know them and everything. Um,
Well, and I will say too, on the we all have that, that skeptic, right?
yes,
It's a
yeah.
natural skeptic, it's fine. And I remember thinking, I gotta see if this guy's real. I gotta see
Mm,
what this guy is. Um, Definitely believed him, but that other part of me is just like, I just have to feel. And as soon as I met him, it's like, oh, that's gone. Like,
yeah.
he is the real deal. And it all that skeptic stuff just pushes away, and it's just
Gotcha. Did you experience the phenomenon at all before meeting Chris?
um February of that year is when I started seeing things out of nowhere. So
Gotcha.
was it I cannot remember if I don't think I had read the book yet. I think I had just discovered him. I don't know. Yeah, the book was out because he was signing. So I don't think I had read the book yet. And it was February of that year that my husband and I were coming home from dinner, and we just started seeing lights popping over the hill. And I was like, what the? Yeah. Yeah. But before that, I've had my own personal experiences with things, but not in the sky. My
Gotcha,
own,
okay.
like, phenomenal experiences.
Were you interested in the phenomenon at all before that?
Mhm. My whole life, I remember being a child. This goes back to my being a kid. Um, I was very much into anything that had to do with any of this. But I
Gotcha,
was
okay.
young. It's not like I
Mhm.
was going to the library and getting books. It was something that I not if I would hear somebody talking about aliens or Bigfoot or even, Atlantis. Atlantis always got me, but I never by the time I was old enough to research that, I wasn't really I was into the whole being a teenager and stuff and not really diving into that.
Yeah, you just
So,
yeah.
yeah, you just kinda like other some kids do, some kids will, but,
Right.
like, I just didn't. I was a partier and chose to do that type of stuff instead, but I've always known that there is something else out there. I have always said you have to be, um, really super close-minded to think that nothing else is here. It's just very naive to think that. Um, but yeah, I've always had an interest in this subject in general.
Awesome, okay. Let's see. So, as a hairdresser and a salon owner, you have like a unique space where you get to sit down with people and have them open up. Have you noticed a shift in the kinds of things people are opening up about? Like, have you noticed like the awakening kind of like getting into the
Yeah,
general population at all?
yeah, really good question. Yes. So I it's just me in here. Well, I do have one other stylist with some people, but I don't really hear their conversation. So with my clients, I have noticed there has been a very interesting shift within the last year. And it's not like they're coming out and saying, anything too crazy, but the people that I never would have thought to be are if I happen to bring something up, they're the ones that are like listening, like, tell me more.
Mm, gotcha.
Where I would feel in the past that they would have been like, "Oh, no. No, 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 no." So I have been testing it a little bit just to see, and not even testing it. It's more like unintentional because this is like who I am now, that
Hmm.
it just comes up. And having the podcast, people are seeing it and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like, explain this to me. I am definitely seeing where people are so, at least my people that I see are a lot more open-minded. They're aware. They're aware that something is going on. Something is escalating and something is happening and there's no denying it, basically.
Do you think that's coming from like now that like this alien topics starting to go more mainstream in the news and you have like all these officials coming forwards and whistleblowers saying that we aren't alone? Do you think that's kind of like opened the door for people to think that that's okay now
Yeah,
and think about these things?
I definitely think that's part of it.
Mm.
A lot of people still do watch the news. I don't watch the news. I'm not a news
Yeah, I
watcher.
don't either. Yeah.
I can't do it. And that's okay. And if you do, that's okay too. But I definitely think because it's that topic is being spoken about more and is becoming more mainstream, which is crazy that I just even
Yeah.
said that. It's really
Yeah.
bizarre to even like 5 years ago wouldn't even have been. I definitely think that's part of it. I also think there's a part of people just it's something happening internally to them. I don't have any proof on this and I can't say, but it's a feeling that I have that something's definitely stirring inside of a lot of people. And it's hard for them to not to deny. And I feel like they also feel comfort coming to me because they know how I am.
Mm.
Even before all this, and like hairdressers are like bartenders, you can tell us anything, right? I mean, that's just how it is, right? Very
Yeah.
comfortable
Yeah.
space for them to speak. And because of that, a lot of them share things like that with me. So I also feel like that's why I get a lot of that of them just saying, "Hey," even if it's something as simple as I started meditating. Awesome. To
Yeah.
me, that's huge.
Mhm.
Um, because you're going, inside and like and doing the self-work. So yeah, I have definitely been seeing a shift in all that.
Awesome. Yeah. It's kind of weird because I'm like kind of split. So I don't interact with a whole lot of people. I mean, at school, I'm kind of just like in class, so I don't get to talk with the fellow students too much. And a lot of them are very young, which I'm realizing like I'm the old one there now. Like I'm going to be
It's fun when that
35
starts
next month.
happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then like I was talking to the guy who sits next to me the other day and I was like, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 20. I'm like, I'm almost twice as old as you. But it's just like,
Welcome to my world. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of them are not like into this really as much. I'm realizing like a lot of them are in that younger phase, like when you are going out and partying and
Yeah.
having friends and doing all that kind of stuff. Do you notice like a certain like I guess demographic of people who have experienced this? Like for myself, I think it's more people who have had some life experiences, gone through some challenges, and that kind of like opens your eyes a bit.
I definitely see that more in that generation, but I'm also seeing it in the early to mid 30s as well. Um,
Mm,
I actually I don't I wouldn't say because I have a couple people in their 20s. They're very open to it if I talk about it. I think a couple of them may be in type of a process, but they don't talk about it too much because
gotcha. Yeah.
they're in that phase of life where there are other things going on, right? Like
Hmm.
partying or you know how it is. It's just the way humans are as we grow. Um, but it's the 30s. It's the 30s I'm seeing a lot of it in. Yeah. Which you would think it would be like midlife stuff, and it is. There is a point you get to this midlife area, you're like, part in life, you're like, "I'm gonna die soon." Like, no, I'm just kidding. But,
I
but
hope
it's the
not. Yeah.
30s. No, no. It's the 30s that I am seeing a lot of change and difference in. Yeah. Not all of them, but
Yeah.
a good bit of them.
Yeah. It's interesting since like I'm going to be 35 and like just looking back at my life and what I've experienced, like going from no internet to then the birth of the
Yeah.
internet, you have the crazy financial crisis. Then we end up having a global pandemic that changed the entire world that no one who would have saw that coming. And I think a lot of people like around my age are realizing that the story that we were told growing up, I think we're realizing that that's not exactly the reality that we want to live in. And it's not the reality that we have to live in. And we're trying to figure out how to shift into like that better way of living and bring that younger generation along on to that new
Interesting.
journey. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah.
It's
I don't know if
I
that's
love
just, yeah,
generational stuff. I love generation like, how the differences in generations. I love that
yeah.
because it's
That's
all
just
different
what like popped
perspectives.
in my head. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Hmm. So, your show is all about creating connection without judgment or fear. When you first started exploring the wood, did you have to overcome fear of being judged by others or your family, clients? And if you did,
Yeah,
like, how did you work through that?
I still am working through that, but I have ever since starting doing this well, I'll go back really quick. It's not really kinda what you asked, but it's been on my mind to do this for at least for a while. When I first started meditating in 2017, it was just I don't it might have been the 2nd or 3rd meditation I did that I heard, and not audible, it's more of like that knowing, but it's super
No.
clear, um, that said the soul explorers, and then a few seconds later said podcast, and that is absolutely nothing that I still can't believe I'm doing it, but
Right.
that at that time, it'd been like, "What the hell? What was that?" And, so it has been with me for a long time to do this, and of course, all those fears of, "I can't do that. What would people think? Like, what would people say?" The last couple years, though, it has been I have been getting signs of, "You must do this." A number of different, very specific things have happened. I even bought the equipment over oh god, a year and a half ago, and it just sat there because I was like,
Mm,
"I'll do this one day." Buying the stuff's the easy part, it's actually sitting
yeah.
down and doing it.
Yeah.
And not until just, in December when I, just decided to fuck it. I'm gonna sit down and just talk because something else had happened to push me to do this. Um, it was scary. So scary. I mean, still to this day, there are some episodes that I won't put on my stories. No, I'll put on my stories, but I won't attach it to Facebook because
Mm,
that's where my family is.
right.
And
Yeah.
I'm getting over it.
Mm,
I'm getting over it. And, the ones I've already told myself that the ones I haven't done, 6 months or so from now, I will push back out and be like, "Here you go, guys. This is who I am." Um, but how I have handled that I mean, I still get really nervous. When I first did my I did a podcast on 1111 frequencies with Shane. I don't
mm,
know if you've, Shane. And I was like, "What are my" oh, it was, right before Christmas. My dad came over for Christmas, and he was like, "Oh, saw that. What's that all about?" And it was a really quick interaction, but I was scared. Like, "What's he
yeah.
gonna think? What's he gonna say?"
Yeah.
Which I think my dad would be super open-minded about it, but I'm more comfortable, like, talking to you guys than
Right.
I am them because you have to leap over those other things and the possibility of judgment. And I wanna stay in my good ass headspace and not have that negative shit. Like, I just don't want it. But at the same time, I do know that I am doing this for a reason and not just to help strangers and, um, friends that I am with online, but I'm here to help and spread this to everybody, even my friends and family. It's been very interesting, even my friends, a lot of them haven't brought it up. Well, a few of them haven't brought it up, which is fine. And every once in a while somebody will. Actually, it happened over the weekend, and, I was like, "Oh god." Because I guess when you put stuff out there like this, you picture certain people. Do you do that? Like, "Oh, this
Yeah.
person's gonna see th okay."
Yeah.
And this one
Yeah.
girl came up to me, and she's a friend of a friend, and when she said, "Oh, I saw what you're doing with the podcast," and it was like I had no idea what her reaction would be, if this makes any sense, but it was just this weird and she was like, "Oh my god, I really, really, really like it." So it was validating, it was very good, and that it's just been a very interesting thing to break out of your shell and to finally find your voice, finally find your truth. And when it is your real truth, it makes it a lot easier because it's who you are. It's just who you are naturally. Does that make sense? And I'm done kind of, getting it's getting a lot easier not to hide it anymore.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced a similar thing. I kept like everything separate, like my personal Facebook and everything, and then I had my Lights Over Loveland stuff. And actually, just probably maybe a month or so ago, I finally was just like, I feel like I'm living two lives. Like, I just
I do
have to
too.
so I made a video for my personal page and just told everyone, I'm like, this is my reality. Seeing UFOs up in the sky and I'm recording them. Here's some of my evidence if you want to check it out. I really don't care if you believe me or not. And just kind of like decided I was going to own this and like, this is who I am. This is what I'm interested in. This is what I want to research and look into. And through my life, I've never had like that clear of a focus. Like I've never known what I wanted to do. It's always been like I could do this for a job or something like that. And
It's
then
very funny you say that because we'll talk about that. Yeah, because
okay,
feel like we're thinking like the same thing. We're
yeah.
living parallel lives. It sounds like yeah.
But yeah, once you like have that goal, it becomes a lot easier to face those challenges. And like you said, like I still get nervous all the time. I don't like public speaking. I don't like being on camera all the time like this, but just doing it over and over is helping me overcome a lot of fears I've had throughout my life. And that just in itself is very beneficial. And I'm so grateful for the things that I'm overcoming and who I'm changing into. And yeah, it's just been really fun to like turn into that authentic version of myself now.
That's exactly what I've been thinking about
Yeah.
lately. Because 'cause I'm like, "Who am I?" Because I
Yeah.
almost enjoy this. No, I
Yeah.
do enjoy it, and I'm like, "Oh my who am I right now?" Because this is not something I ever in a million years thought I'd do, and I wanna say I am so proud of you because I
Thank
remember
you.
when you were first on in Discord, you'd hop in every once in a while and share videos, and I just remember your progression
Hmm.
of, "Guys, I think I wanna make a video."
Yeah.
And, like, and it's just so cool. I love looking back at that stuff and like, "Woo, here you are now." So cool.
Yeah. And anybody who wants to see it, it's still on my page. You go back,
Yeah,
see my terrible old videos if you want.
yeah.
But
Who
yeah,
cares? But that's I
yeah,
love it. Never delete any of those because that
yeah.
is your truth. That's your progression. Yeah.
I know you've done like you just did a Monroe like retreat
Mhm.
with Ryan Bledsoe.
Yeah.
Have you also gone to the Monroe Institute and done the
No.
Gateway experience? No, just with Ryan.
Yeah, not
Um,
yet. It's
gotcha.
on
Okay.
the list of things to do, but not yet.
Yeah. I haven't done either one. I really want to do I really want to have like a Monroe experience, but
Yeah, I want the
um
experience at Monroe. Yeah. The
yeah.
magical experience I keep hearing about.
Yes. How was doing the retreat with Ryan though? Like since like, you know, basically his father got you into the spiritual more and everything. Like how was it getting to do that experience with him?
It was so cool.
Mm,
Yeah, I like that you brought that up because I've had to step back a little bit like, "Whoa, what has happened the last 2 years, 3 years, whatever it's been, 3 years." Um, because Ryan's a friend now and just to, like, step back and be like, "Whoa," just for all these little steps that have happened to all this to come to fruition the way it has is beautiful, and I can't wait to see what happens in the future, but the experience was amazing. I'm so happy that I did it this way personally. I'm so happy that I did it Exploring Consciousness program before going to, uh, Monroe physically, because there's so much uh, Exploring Consciousness is the first 2 days of the Gateway program. So you're
gotcha.
getting
Okay.
that experience, except you're just not on campus. Um but we were at a really nice beach house. We all had separate rooms that we were doing our meditations in, and I just still can't believe how exhausted I was the second day, like, the last day, towards the end of the day. Ryan's like, "Okay, one more." I'm like, "Do we have to?" Because and I love it, and, like, no negativity there at all, but, it's a lot. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. I feel like I'm putting a negative context on it, but absolutely I'm not. I'm just so glad I did it that way, so now I know what I'm looking forward to the first 2 days of Gateway, and then to prepare myself as I go. So, the experience was absolutely insane. I really did not think and I went in with no preconceived anything. I
Yeah.
try not to and ever because I don't want to plant any seeds. So I just want things to come naturally. Oh my god. Even the first meditation, I the first meditation, I felt my face come off my face, which is a funny thing to say.
Weird.
But
Yeah.
even that first one and I have done some gateway things before, but I guess being in that environment, the environment's very important. That's why I wanna go to physically to the
Yeah,
Monroe
definitely.
because then the magic really happens. I so when I was thinking back to all the things that I have experienced when I was a child, within this past year, I started questioning, have I gone out of body? Have I? Is that what that was? And, I'd kind of like push it off, not really thinking too much about it. But in the back of my head, I'm like, in order for me to have experienced some of the things that I know I experienced, was I astral traveling? Was I going out of body? So, what this program showed me, ooh, I get emotional when I talk about it, but is that yes, I have been going out of body my whole life and I've been unaware of it. So being in these meditative states where you're in that theta and you're on that cusp of sleep, but you're still in that wake state. I went out of body during the exploring consciousness retreat and realized that this is very, very, very familiar. So that was the biggest thing for me. But a lot of things happened. So anyone that's on the fence about doing Ryan's programs, even if they're virtual, I mean, it's really great to be in a group of people, but don't discount it if if you can only make a virtual event. They're all incredible.
So, would you say that gave you that, like, knowing then? Like, you weren't sure before, and now you know that you are capable of these things and you're more than your physical body?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
It was crazy, Justin. It's so hard to like explain because it was such a emotional feeling when it happened. And it was more so the first one is when I started feeling some kind of release. When I say my face came off my face, I did feel this separation. And I was like, what was that? And it wasn't to the second day when we were intentionally doing, or you could, if you wanted to, you could intentionally try to go out of body. And I slipped right out. And during it, I was thinking, "Oh my god, this is so cool. I can't believe this. This is what I've done the whole time. Oh my god. This is so amazing." I didn't wanna look down at myself because I was afraid I'd snap out of it. But as soon as the meditation was over, and I took my headphones off because we have little headphones that we wear, I did not expect to get as emotional as I did. I took them off and ran to the bathroom and lost it because it was this I don't know what word. I don't know the words. It's just the realization that this has always happened. And it's such a good feeling to know that for some reason. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it just removes that, like, that
Yeah.
lingering doubt when you're not, like, 100% sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any advice or pointers for people who may, like, somewhere you were thinking you had these out of body experiences, but you weren't sure? Like, is there anything that you've learned that can help someone out there who's, like, maybe having these experiences?
Trust yourself. Don't deny it. I've been saying this lately. Don't deny it because you think it's crazy. What is the harm? of just accepting it and keeping it to yourself. There is no harm. Yeah, I guess I did deny it. So I denied it for a long time, but that question was still in the back of my head. When those things pop up, they're there for a reason. They're absolutely there for a reason. Um, and this program gave me the permission to believe and trust in myself. And I believe that you can do that without this program. You can trust yourself. You're the only one stopping you, basically. So just don't deny and don't discount yourself.
Awesome. Um, did you have any, like, besides, like, the knowing that you're more than your body, did you have any other, like, downloads or realizations during your meditations during that time?
I went into a couple other people's meditations.
Mm,
That was really, really cool. And that's the cool thing about Monroe. It happens a lot from what I hear with some friends that have gone through the Monroe experiences on campus, is that you'll have meditations where the one person, like, oh, so and so is in my meditation, then you meet up because you talk after every session, and there are similarities and like, oh, well, we did the same exact thing in, oh, I climbed a mountain and you were there. Oh shit, I climbed a mountain too, and you were
yeah,
there
that's
too. So it's
crazy.
really
Yeah.
cool. So with the one of the gentlemen that was there, there were a lot of little things. Sometimes things are so little, they're big to me, but they're so like, I'm not going to discuss that because it's hard to kind of explain. So I had a lot of those,
Gotcha.
which led me to also accept the fact and to truly believe that I am psychic, which we all are. But I've known this for a long time. But you know, I guess it goes back to like, I don't know. I'm not one of those mediums that you see on TV or something, but I definitely have abilities. So with all these little knowings that kept popping up personally for me, I was like, shit, like this is happening a lot. It would just be like, I just thought of something and somebody would say it, but it was happening in such a crazy amount of moments. But the couple of the things that happened was, this one, we were going around, we have a sharing circle after each meditation. So I had a meditation where I or it was a little blip in this one meditation where I saw something that looked like a bar, like a tavern,
Mm, gotcha. Okay.
but it was very abstract. But I knew it was a bar. There was some design in the background, but it was very simple, black and white blocks. But I knew that there was some kind of abstract design, and I knew there was a bar, and I knew that there were stools. But it was super quick, in, out. And then I went to then I was in like a flower meadow, and it was beautiful and sunny, and there were lots of flowers, and then I pictured this toy that I had when I was little out of nowhere. I didn't even have the toy, my cousin did. So random things just come in,
Mm,
like, why?
gotcha.
So it's this random toy I thought of. So, and there were a couple other things, but we don't need to talk about that. So then we go back to our sharing circle, and I wasn't going to bring these little things up because, again, they were small. Like, I'll hold that to myself, but I did journal about them. So this one gentleman starts talking about and he's, going on and on. And then he said I was in a tavern, and I was like, and
Mm,
I'd even drawn it in my journal, like the little abstract, like stuff that I saw. And he said I don't even remember what he said after he said tavern, but he's like, I was in a tavern, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so I let him finish and I said, hey, I was in a tavern too. And he points at me and goes, you were there. And
wow.
I was like, holy shit. We never talked about what we were doing. I don't know if it was like super quick. And then I had them skip me because I was like saying, like I just said, it was small things that I was like, go ahead and skip me. It's fine. The lady next to me starts telling me about hers and that she was in a meadow of flowers. And there were these mushrooms, and the toy uh, that had come to me had little mice in it.
Mm, gotcha.
And so she starts talking about this flower meadow and a toy with mushrooms with gray heads. And I looked at her and I said, "I was in a flower meadow too, but there were like mice." And she goes, "That's what they were. They were like little mice, but they like had mushroom blah, blah." So it was so bizarre how we all
Yeah.
had these similar things. And that's just a small story. A number of other things happened with a bunch of other people. So it was really, really cool to get to a state where you're sharing things together. It's
Yeah.
really neat.
That's amazing.
It really
Yeah, just
is.
like having that like shared kind of like consciousness during your meditation and
Oh
yeah,
my
to be
God.
able to describe the same exact things and everything. Did
It's
you notice afterwards like a lot of people when they go do like a Monroe retreat like they're kind of like not fully like grounded. Like did you have to ground a lot after this experience?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan didn't want us going to the grocery store or anything. He's like,
Mm,
"Nobody drive." But yes, you definitely, even after those 2 days, feels a little odd going back into reality. You're in a house with 9 amazing humans that all sync so beautifully. That's one part of it, right? And then you're having these experiences and you're having these amazing conversations and being on a level that you've never been able to be on before. And then, oh, now I gotta go to, you know, Food Lion and talk to people. You know what I mean? Or like
yeah.
whatever. A lot of grounding. Luckily for me, I had to stay an extra day because there was a big snowstorm. We were supposed to record that day. So I was able to kind of take an extra day to ground myself and not get in the car and drive and like, but there's definitely that dissonance. There's that separation of um reality. I can't imagine 6 days doing it for 6 days straight. And I've heard some people like then they go right to the airport and they're like, "I don't know what what am I doing?"
Yeah,
Going
that's
from
gotta be
like
crazy.
Gateway,
Yeah.
like it has to be nuts.
Yeah.
I remember somebody mentioning that in April when they all went together and now I get it. After just the 2 days, I get it. Totally.
Yeah. Wow. So you mentioned a little bit when you were just describing like realizing that you're like psychic or having these psychic abilities. And something that I've been learning a lot about recently is psychic abilities and realizing that I think we all have the potential to learn these abilities and everything. And I know you interviewed Ryan Dabian and had an awesome podcast with him where yeah, he was able to show and talk about these things that he's training and like full transparency, all the things he's doing and everything like that. How has your view of the psychic stuff evolved recently? Because I know you also talked to like Alex Stefan and everything. And
Yep.
yeah, there's
And
just
Brooke
like a
Soto.
lot
Yep.
of good information coming out on the psychic stuff lately.
I love this subject. This is also going back to my childhood stuff. It's hard to put into words, a lot of this stuff is, but I always knew, and I can't explain how or why, but I always knew this stuff was real. But again, didn't dive into it. The more it's coming out now as I'm learning more about this, it's like I've always known this is here. And I swear to you, I swear I had Mindsight when I was very little. It's so and I think we all did. A lot of us did. It's something that is an innate thing in all of us that you grow out of for whatever reason. Um, but to answer your question, what was the question exactly?
Just like, well, real quick before I say the question,
Yeah,
but like the growing out of it, I think it's not so much like a growing out of it. I think it's more of like these beliefs that it's not possible just getting pushed on us over and
it is.
over.
It
But
is
yeah, just
for sure.
how has your view of psychic stuff evolved over the last few months?
So it is crazy. Ever since the Psy Games in August, which I went to, and how has it grown? Okay, so I just dove deep into it,
Gotcha. Yeah.
Especially Mindsight. Um, and I had already been practicing with a little bit of remote viewing and dowsing, but seeing it all in person and Justin, I'm so excited for you to go. I'm just telling you, I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm
so excited.
excited too.
The energy is incredible in that room. What getting into this world and meeting some people, like I had interviewed Alex Stefan and this woman named Brooke Soto, who also trains Mindsight, and I have a couple more coming up. It has really taught me that, first of all, we are so much more. Again, going back to our more than our physical bodies, we are so much more than we think we are. We have so much more potential than we think we are. And training in mindsight, probably all of it, but for me, like mindsight and telekinesis has has really helped me in belief, in trusting and believing myself in general. I kind of
Gotcha.
touched on that when I was talking to, Stefan about or, Alex about it, because I had really you're sitting here, you're looking at a piece of foil under a glass, and you're like, "What am I doing?" Like,
Yeah.
and when you are able to put enough energy into that for it to actually move for no other reason, nothing, like, no reason at all, you this belief in yourself, and not just within psychic abilities, but a general belief in yourself grows. At least that's what I've been experiencing is, it really I don't know another word. It just really has it's really helped me personally. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha.
In more ways than just moving objects with my mind or my energy. So, and yeah, I think that answered
Huh.
your question.
Uh, it's
As
really
quiet as I
funny.
can be, I can go off on a tangent sometimes.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say.
Um, as funny as it is to me, like, so there's so many skeptics out there in UFO land, and what I'm finding is there's even more skeptics in psychic land. Do you have any kind of message for these people who are so skeptical of these things, like any kind of message to them where they can maybe just like open their mind a little bit to like this is something that is possible?
I get, I'm not so graceful sometimes with the words when it comes to this because I'm not in an angry way, but I'm sorry. That's all I wanna say. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry you're so closed that you can't just maybe accept something just a little bit that is outside of what you think is to be true. Um, I try to steer clear because I do not like the negativity. I think my word of advice is you've gotta find some happiness, man, and, find your own happiness, and I'm really sorry for you if your happiness is putting down other people that simply think that or believe that we are so much more as human beings and humanity than what has been showed and told to us, so, not really advice, but I'm just over them. Like, go pound sand.
Yeah. It seems to be like a certain type of person too. It's like the person
Really.
who like I feel like it's the person who knows everything. Like they're just so steadfast and like, no, this is how it is. You can't change like you could show them clear as day, like, here, I'm doing it. And they're like, no, it's not possible. Yeah, I'm just
Ye
always trying to find ways to like overcome the skeptics. So I was
Yeah, because I
interested.
saw that but you've been brutalized a little bit here and
Yeah.
there. Yeah, yeah, I
And
haven't gotten
I'm
that yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Um,
prove to them
mhm,
too, like,
mhm.
I'm doing this scientifically, like, I'm trying to do anything I can to, like, show that this is legit, and I know I'm just, like, a dude on the internet, and people aren't gonna trust me or whatever, but I
But you're
am
doing your
very
part.
yeah,
You're
I
doing
am
your
very
part, and if
happy to the people who are resonating with this energy and getting
absolutely.
something from this.
I've had it like 2 that's it, like maybe 2 people
Mm,
that have said something, um, negative, and I feel that stab in my chest because I can get
yeah,
real hot real fast. But I pull myself in, I ground myself, like, "It's cool," like, they just don't understand, and hopefully they will one day. But I also wanna defend. I wanna defend just like you are. I wanna defend these things. So I thank you for doing what you're doing. I think in the future when I'm sure at some point it'll start getting crazy. I guess I'm just gonna ignore them because I don't want them the power to drain my energy. I'm not giving them any power. Um, but yeah, that's
yeah,
what I have to
that's
say.
been something that's been a challenge to learn is like protecting your own energy and not letting them get to you. And
Mhm.
especially like me and Ryan, we're talking about it, Ryan Davian, but we're
Mhm.
both action sports people.
Yeah,
And when you tell someone who's an action sports person that something's not possible, all it does is fires us up and want to prove
exactly.
even more that this is possible.
Yep. And
Um,
I might get to that point sometimes because it
yeah,
does piss me off. Like, it
yeah.
infuriates me, but, yeah, just let it slide
if you
off.
could, if you could send a message back in time to yourself at the beginning of your spiritual journey, what would you tell yourself to prepare for where you are today?
Yeah, Justin, you got some good ones. Ground. Ground, stay grounded for sure. Um, a lot's gonna be coming. This is a hard one to answer for me.
Mm. Thinking earlier as you were
Yeah.
talking about just like learning to like trust yourself.
Definitely
But
trust yourself, believe, do not doubt yourself. I feel like there's something else here though that's not kind of coming out. But absolutely trust yourself. Don't doubt what's happening. And I actually think it'd be interesting if I ask myself this question a year from now, because I really
mm,
think a lot of stuff's gonna happen, and I feel like that's what's going on right here is, like, I can give myself advice, if I can look back and at where I am now, but I feel like a lot more is gonna be happening in the future, if that makes any sense right
yeah,
now.
I totally feel that. It's like we're in the progress of like a major change that's going
Yeah.
on right now with like starting the podcast and everything. Yeah.
And this has been happening to me a lot lately with I can't even explain what's happening right now, because I think it's a part of, like, the psychicness because these things that have been happening to me are intensifying. Where I'll be talking to somebody and I will kinda it's not like start thinking about something else, but I'm drift something else is coming in that I can't quite get out, if that makes
Mm,
sense.
yeah.
And this has been happening it's been happening with clients. It's been happening when I talk to anybody every once in a while. But yeah, you answered the question for me. It definitely would be, like,
Yeah.
to trust myself for sure,
Yeah.
because it's huge. I just realizing it in January during the retreat, it's so big. There's no reason to discount yourself.
So, going and doing all these meditations and everything and learning how to get into these different focus levels, do you
Mhm.
think maybe that's what's causing like your like consciousness is so expanded that maybe like you have that higher consciousness that's just like unfolding for you and it's really hard to put like these higher things into words?
Yes.
Hmm,
It started before the retreat, but I've been meditating for a while.
gotcha.
But that's actually a really good question too, because something definitely has shifted
Mm,
even in the last month. So it very well could be that I opened something up. It could also be some of the people I met during the retreat that, I think I mentioned Lindsay earlier. She's an astrologer, extremely psychic. When she read my astrological chart to me, it was all this validation for myself. And I think that a part of this too is believing in myself and trusting and knowing because in my chart, it's specific. She's like, girl, you don't understand how rare this is. And it was, I don't remember exactly, but with abilities and
gotcha.
connections. And so validation definitely helps. But even before that, the retreat, things have just been amplifying. But now I'm able to kind of trust myself more. But
Gotcha.
something's happening, and it's not just me. Something's swirling around everyone. So I don't wanna say this is just something like one thing happened to lead up to where I am now. Some things happening 'cause these connections even with other people that I know or that are similar, it's amplifying for them too, and we're all on different paths. So, again, I can't put words on it, but something energetically is happening. Something's
Gotcha.
opening.
Do you think it could be amplifying because you're, like, on your aligned path? Like, for
Yeah.
me, I've realized, like, when I was stuck in my job and I was just making myself miserable every day, once I left that and, like, actually found my purpose and working towards all the things I have been in Lights Over Loveland, I've noticed that a lot of these things are just working a lot more smoothly, and, like, I've noticed manifestations playing out and things like that, and I never really had those things before when I was at my job. It really like started going once I finally left and like had the courage to get on this path, I think.
No, very, very good point. So I've been making a lot of changes
Mm,
personally and professionally as well. So I do think it's also part of following your path that you're meant to be on, maybe. Um, Truly being who you are. And I'm glad you brought that up too, because just this morning, so I put out there into the universe a couple weeks ago that, and this is a big one for me. And if my clients hear this, they're gonna scream, they're gonna call me, they're gonna cry, they're gonna text me. But that just don't really want to do hair anymore. And I love it. I really do. I just there are other things I want to do, and there are other things that I know I'm supposed to be doing. So I put that out there in the universe just not too long ago. Basically, like, you know, show me, show me how to do this. Show me how I'm supposed to transition this point in my life. Because this is my means of money. And it hasn't. Anyway, I won't go into all that. So that's a lot to go into. So I put it out there, and uh, immediately little things start happening where, like this past week, my clients have been dropping off like crazy. It could just be like people are sick or whatever, but I'm seeing this shift. They're coming back, but there's like have to cancel this, have to cancel that. There's been so many movements in bookings and appointments. I also put out there, this is funny. I don't want to take any more clients. No new clients. No new clients. I'm going to keep who I have for right now and then feel what's going to happen down the road, but I'm not taking any new clients. And what happens? I start getting blown up with new clients. I'm like, God, you got a sense of humor, dude. This is
yeah,
real funny. And it's almost like, here you go. This is how I feel it is. Now you have to make the choice. Because now it's my decision.
yeah,
I actually have to do the thing of saying no. And which I did. And then I haven't had a client go anywhere in years. Like I've very good clientele that sticks with me. And because I put out another thing a couple days ago just about, thank you, gratitude. Please continue to show me my purpose and what direction I should go. And, in the back of my head, I'm like, God, I just don't want to do hair. On the way here today, I got a text from a longtime client. She's actually a friend. She's a mother of one of my friends that she's going to go see someone else because she's closer to her home or whatever reason. And I was like, I love her, and if she hears this, I don't want her to think bad on her, but, like, I was like, "This is it. Good. This is happening." And yes, bring it, because I am ready for a change. So it's really interesting how you start putting stuff out there and asking for the signs, and you just have to be open to see them. You have
yes,
to be aware enough to see them and to understand what you're experiencing. So, we'll see what happens.
yeah.
Might be
um,
on the sidewalk doing this in a couple months, but we'll see.
yeah. Um, do you believe in? I'm sure you probably do, but do you believe that we have guides that are like helping all those pieces align so we can have that option? Like you're having them kind of rework your life to give you those two paths so you can decide for yourself, okay, like what do I really want to do?
Yeah, so I've heard a lot of people, and they have, like, specific guides, and they are so, like And I envy those people that are like, "Yep, I got George and I got Claire and she did da, 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 and she helps me here and he helps me here." And I'm like, I know there are lots of things around, but I don't know who they are." So, I'm not gonna say that there's anything specific, but I definitely or if there are guides that are definitely directing me in certain ways, like if there's a guide for professional, a guide for spiritual, a guide for whatever. But I know that I have guides. I know that there is God. There are guides that there is the divine that is there with all of us. I just don't know what that looks like, and that's okay. I truly know, and I always have, that I have guides. And that goes back to childhood stuff as well, because they were with me all the time when I was little. And I always, even though, like, I matured and grew up, always felt a presence next to me. Always. Whether I believed or not, I always feel a presence with me, which is really cool. And now to be in the point that I am now, it's just embracing that and loving it and being so grateful for that.
Yeah. You brought up gratitude. Do you incorporate a lot of gratitude into your life?
Absolutely. Yep, it's huge. When I started
Yeah.
doing that, not only does it just make you feel better, it grounds you. It without gratitude, you just don't realize how good you got it. You don't. You don't, because it's so easy to, "Oh, everything sucks. This sucks. This sucks." And I literally, yeah, things suck sometimes. They do. But in every single scenario, I will always come up with something good about it, and it's man, that's so helpful. I really wish more people, I think a lot more people are, but there are some people that just don't have any idea, like, what it's like to be grateful whatsoever. But I challenge anyone out there to just, it only takes a little bit. "Oh, it's raining today and it's gross." But the rain's gonna help, and, it's spring's coming, and it sounds, cheesy, but it helps so much.
Yeah, I ask because, like, I incorporate a lot of gratitude into my everyday routine now. Like, on my way to school, I'll just start going through all the things I'm grateful for
Mhm.
and just
Yep.
listing them off. And I've noticed that since I've started incorporating the gratitude in my life, like, also the manifestations and all these things seem to be working a lot better too, versus back when I was going to work, I'd be like, "Oh, this is another day of work. I don't want to go here. I don't want to be in this warehouse." And then it just makes it
And
harder.
what you're doing is when you're grateful, your vibration's changing, your
Yes.
frequency's changing, your
Mhm.
frequency's going into a more manifestive state,
Yes.
basically. It's very it's very interesting, but it's so easy and so simple, but it's real, it's legit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting too because there is so much, like, science and stuff behind this stuff too.
I
So,
was
like, a lot of
gonna say that
people,
too. Mhm.
yeah, who are, like, really skeptical, like, you can look up the experiments they do where they, like, talk loving energy to water, and then they freeze it, and you get these beautiful snowflake crystals,
Yep,
and then they say,
yep.
like, "I hate you," and they freeze it, and it's these ugly blobs. Like, they're
It's literally
changing.
scientific. It is
Yeah.
scientific proof.
Yeah, it's changing the structure of the crystals just by the words that that probably not even the words, just the energy that we're
Energies.
sending to
Mhm.
that. Yeah, so it's just fascinating. So, like, a lot of the skeptics, I just ask to, like, do some research. Like, there's all kinds of research to back up a lot of this stuff. But
Yep.
um,
Well, they're also the ones that aren't grateful. They're also the ones living in
yeah,
a very
true.
low frequency. They're also the
Yeah.
ones that they're not gonna find it until it's their time, and there's also polarity. There has to be the good with the bad. There has to be that in order, at least on this earth and in this realm for some reason, but in order to find the good, there has to be the bad. So I look at the skeptics and people like that as well. It's also shifting my perspective on it instead of getting all hot and heated. Um, that they're there for a reason. They're there to push us and keep us to where we are as well. So, and hopefully one day they wake up. Hopefully one day everybody wakes up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, everyone's on their own journey. So, yeah, who's to say that a little bit down the road, they don't come to that awakening and realize, like, oh man, I was living life like in this little tiny box. But,
Yeah, yeah.
um, is there any final messages that you would like to leave for anyone listening?
Ooh, um, just love. We have to spread love. We're in a very tumultuous time, um, and there are gonna be a lot of scared people out there, and, even if you're scared or push the fear away the best you can, ground yourself in love, smile to somebody, hold the door for somebody, tell someone you love them. The little tiny things that we do, it's a butterfly effect, and we need to spread love as much as we possibly can right now. That's my big thing right now. We have to. It's so
I
important.
completely agree with that. Yeah. So, yeah, if you're out there, just do a little small act of kindness. You have no idea what that may do to the person who's on the other end. They could be having one of the worst days of their life, and just that small gesture can change and flip their whole day around. And then in doing so, they're going to be interacting with other people in a positive way, and it just ripples outwards to so
Yes.
many. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Don't think it doesn't work because it does. Just little things. Yep.
all right. I guess, would you like to tell everyone where they can find your podcast and all your content? And I
Yep.
am going to link everything down below.
So, yep, I have my Instagram is the dot soul explorers and my YouTube channel is at the soul explorers. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. So definitely go check out Heather's podcast and her content. She's putting out some wonderful episodes, diving into some fascinating topics that I can't recommend enough. But Heather, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Justin. Thanks. Have a great day.
Yeah. All right. See you, everyone.